Welcome back to the Even If podcast. I'm Kenzie.
And I'm Sarah. And today's episode is Even If There Are Some Days You Want to Be a Cowgirl and Some Days You Want to Be a Mermaid, Embrace Both Sides of Beautiful You.
I love it. Okay. How was your week?
My week was good.
High-low, right? We're going to do high-low. Tell me what you taught me.
Okay, yes. I learned this week. I was staying with my sister-in-law out in Dixon. My brother was out traveling for work, so I stayed with her and their 4 kids. And at dinner, my sister-in-law, Jessica, taught me this cute thing called high-low buffalo.
It's precious.
So your high, your low, and then your buffalo is something that surprised you.
Okay. So tell me your high-low and your buffalo.
Okay, my high is that I had another niece born.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so what
This
number?
is my other brother, Jacob and Gracie Hope. This
How many
is
nieces
my
and nephews do you have?
8th niece and
Tell
nephew.
everyone, because I don't think people know.
Yeah, it's my favorite thing in the world. Being called Sasa is my favorite thing in the world. That is my aunt name. And I think it's like probably what moms feel when they get called mom.
Yeah.
Or mama.
I can't imagine.
When I get called Sasa.
I can't imagine.
It's just my favorite.
I can't imagine.
And a lot of my friends just call me Sasa now because they know how much I love it.
I'm going to start calling you Sasa.
Good tip.
Sasa.
I love it.
For those of you that don't know, Sarah has 3 brothers.
Yes.
They're all married and they all have.
Yes. My oldest brother
Almost
has
all
4
babies.
kids. Oh my gosh. And now my second brother has 4 kids. They just had their 4th. And then my youngest brother and his wife, they're pregnant with their 1st.
Wow. Wild.
It is so fun.
So fun.
So yeah, I just had my 8th. It's a little girl. Her name is Pearl. And I just love her so much.
Oh my gosh.
So fun.
Luckiest niece in the world.
So fun. So that was my high. My low, I don't know. I feel like that just trumped everything. Like life is so good.
Yeah.
But Tennessee beat Bama. That's another high.
That's a great high.
But speaking of football, I guess my low would be that the Titans just are not doing well.
Really, yeah, they're hurting us.
So I guess that's my low. And then my buffalo. So I think I've mentioned this, but I am a strength and conditioning coach at a local school, and we randomly had a day off this week.
Oh, so nice.
And I found that out like the day before. And so it was like, hey, you don't work tomorrow. I'm like,
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Kind of nice relaxing day. Got to hang out with my mom. And then randomly we went to this little revival church service with Lisa Harper, which do you know who she is?
Yeah, you told me about her earlier.
Okay.
But I didn't know about her until you told me.
She's just hilarious and such a great speaker. So that was just, my mom was like, hey, I have an extra spot. Do you want to go?
I love it.
And it was so good.
I love it.
What about you?
High-low buffalo.
High-low buffalo.
Okay, my high, I just got back from Austin. So I went back and it was my best friend's birthday.
Yes.
So that was a high. It was also, my low was going back to Austin. Okay, and hear me out. The reason it was my low is because I have not been back since I moved away. I say suddenly, but obviously it was all part of the Lord's plan. But I went through, a tough breakup and then moved back and kind of all did that in the same weekend. So I hadn't been back. I mean, I went back to get my car a couple weeks after, but I have not been back in Austin. So
that's a lot of emotions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
sure.
A lot of emotions. But the low was just, it was a little bit just difficult in the sense of I've had to face certain memories and certain places and things, but also so redemptive.
Yeah.
So that would be my buffalo, is that it was super redemptive, which I was praying it would be, just because I needed to go there. I have to go there at some point to get the rest of my stuff, but also my best friend in the world lives there. And I love Austin. Yeah. And so I was just really grateful. And the buffalo in that too is I got to meet all of her people. And so now I feel like I have new incredible friends that I'm excited to nurture and continue to develop, and knowing that they'll be in her life for forever. And she'll obviously be in my life. So that was the buffalo of the entire trip. Was just, it was wonderful.
Isn't that funny how you're high going to Austin, you're low going to Austin, and your buffalo being in Austin. Like just
all of it.
Surprised by what happened and being in Austin.
Yeah. So it was great. It was really great. But it was definitely at first just dealing with, you guys, those things where you almost go to a place and there's like those old memories, or there's just some things that you have to face. Like I still have all my belongings in the house. And so just being transported back to the house, but knowing that it's not my life anymore. And it was like I had to physically kind of be there. And there was a one night where I just couldn't hold back tears, and it was a cleansing. It was so healthy, and I needed that. So even though it's a low, it technically is still a high, because it's growth and it's processing, and it's being grateful for where I am, but also kind of grieving like the what if, and then going back to the
yes.
even if,
Yes. Yes. And it's like that exposure therapy. Like
Totally.
it was scary to go back to Austin because of what Austin has been for you, but you go and you keep going back.
Yep.
And then like the Lord is able to rewrite that story. And how cool is that?
Yeah. He totally has rewritten that story. So high, low Buffalo, baby.
Love it.
Okay. So this episode is dedicated to a very special something.
So I wrote a children's book. Which is so crazy.
You're so cool.
Oh my goodness.
You're so cool.
No, I'm not.
You're
It's
so cool.
It's so crazy. I feel so crazy saying that because it's just crazy.
It's crazy.
I wrote a children's book and it's called Cowgirl Mermaid.
Oh, okay. And I want to know, and I want you to tell us, I already know, but I want you to tell us what inspired you to write this book.
Yes, this was not on my dream card at all. It was not on my Pinterest board to write a book. Not something that I ever thought I would do, nor would any of my elementary, middle school, high school teachers tell you that I would do. And
surprise.
I know it truly is crazy, but it came from my story and wanting to share part of my story in a way that young girls can read and relate to. And so Cowgirl Mermaid, the title of the book, is just embracing that paradox of the cowgirl, which is the cowgirl side of me, this country girl. I want to live out on a farm. I want to have lots of land. And then the mermaid, which is this beach girl surfing at the ocean all day. And I feel like those parts of me, what part is true? I feel like I could be this cowgirl, but I'm also this mermaid. For me, my story is I am the girl who loves riding horses and being out on land and also loves to be at the beach. And I felt like it was, who am I? I'm both. Yeah. And God created me to be both. And I think another part of it is growing up, I was the girl on the soccer field who loved to play rough and tough and get yellow cards, maybe red cards, and slide tackle, get dirty, and also wanted to paint my nails and wear bows in my hair and play dress up and put a crown on my head and be that girly girl too. Yeah. And I realized I was like, who should I be? Should I be this sporty girl or should I be this girly girl? And I'm both. Yeah. And that's how God created me to be, is that I am a sporty girly girl. And so it's just embracing the paradox of both of those things.
I love that. When did you feel like this is just a random question that I just thought of. When did you feel like it was not only okay, but you were meant to be both? Like at what age did you feel like you discovered that?
Oh my goodness. I think it took into my adult life because it was just my own insecurities of trying to figure out which one should I be. And I remember at family gatherings, we would all be together in the backyard at my parents' house, my brothers and sister-in-laws, and my brothers, having 3 brothers, would all want to be out there playing spike ball. Yeah. And sometimes my sister-in-laws would be inside helping with cooking or, sitting with the babies. And I was like, I don't know what to do because I want to do both. I really want to be out there playing spike ball. And I also want to be inside cooking. Yeah. And I was like, I don't know who I should be. Like, am I the girl that plays spike ball and is in shorts and t-shirt, like roughing it with the boys? Or am I the girl that's inside with my apron cooking? So I don't know that it was like a light bulb moment necessarily, but I think it was just accepting that those are both
true.
True.
Yeah. I love that.
And both part of who I am.
I love that.
What about you? So I know that you've read my book.
I love it so much. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so good. It's so good.
Thank you. You're kind. But outside of the book and the paradoxes that you have read within the book, do you feel like there's a paradox that you feel like you are in this season of life?
Yes. Yes. I think there's quite a few paradoxes I can totally relate to. I can relate to everyone in the book. But I think specifically in the season that I'm in, the paradox that is so true for me is I have never felt more free and more in love with my life. I have never I've always been a pretty grateful person, but the gratitude in my life, it's just changed everything for me. So I have this paradox where I am obsessed with my life. I love everything about it. I am living free and surrendered and just chasing Jesus faster than I've ever chased him, and have incredible community and all those things. And I desire and yearn, and it's almost like there's something that it's not missing, but it's like that thing that I have a lot of conversations with you about, my mom, my friends, like with Jesus. Like I talk to the Lord all the time about this of like, frustrated in this part of my life. Like I'm single.
Yeah.
And not just single, like you and I talk about this all the time. Like we could be married. That's the thing. Like we could both be married at this point. It's just, I want that person that I can go chase Jesus with.
It matters.
So and that's the paradox. And I think when I was driving down here, I was just thinking, like, it's so often as Christians for us to feel guilt or shame for not being grateful for where God has us. And I am grateful. And on this side of heaven, I am going to have that paradox of two things being true. I am grateful.
Yes.
And I'm scared.
Yes.
I'm grateful and I'm frustrated.
Yes.
I'm grateful and I'm not lonely. I don't feel lonely, but I'm aware that I'm single.
Well, it could be lonely for a romantic partner or for like companion.
Yes, totally.
Companionship.
So I think there's people that don't maybe desire to be married, or they get to a certain point in their life and like, it's okay. Maybe it'll happen for me. Maybe it won't. And I'm one of those people that's like, no, I really want to be a mom.
Yeah.
Like deeper, more than anything, want to be that. And I'm living in every avenue. I mean, I dissected my life with my life coach last week of like, where's the margin in your life to do certain things, to change certain things. I'm like, I love everything that I'm doing. I feel like I'm in a Bible study. I'm about to start a Bible study. I am involved in my church. Like, I don't know what other things I can do. And so it's one of those things where we don't have control over that other thing being true in my paradox, which is the part that I can't go earn or achieve or produce. And so that can create the frustration. So I think in the current season that I'm in, both things are true there. And I think one can sometimes be stronger than the other depending on the day, which then goes to don't believe your feelings and call your friends and have them pour into you. But that's my paradox for sure.
And I think too, it's not that should can oftentimes be language for shame. Like it can be shaming language.
Totally.
And so when I hear the word should, especially with my clients, I kind of, take a little pause and what do you mean you should? You should feel okay being single. Like that. What does that mean?
Yeah.
And it's okay if it's hard to be, but like you said, both of those can be true.
Yeah. You
can be sad being single and be happy being single.
Yes.
Like it's like almost
so
even
true.
the same words.
It is so true.
Of feeling both of those things. And
It's
that's a
so
great
true.
paradox.
It is so true. And I think like the thing that makes me quote unquote maybe sad or just aware of my singleness is the fear. Like I'm trying to process this out loud, but it's more the fear of like, okay, well, I love everything about my life right now, but like what if at 38, 39, 40, 41, I'm still single? And that is where the enemy just loves to come in and make me think what God says about me is not true and distort my emotions around the Lord and distort what I know to be true. And so that's where I have to be really, really careful because that is the way that the enemy is smart. He knows, and so he knows, enter spiritual warfare, enter all those things. But I think it's so true about like what you just said about singleness. Like I love it. And I'm also, okay, I don't want to be single forever, but what if I am? And then it goes back to, again, the amount of times I've used the title of our podcast in my day-to-day life of even if I'm still single, even if I am single for the rest of my life, like it's, it goes back to, am I obedient? Am I doing the next right thing? So I can fight that paradox, but I still live in it in this particular season.
Yes. And it's not, and I think that language is so important because it's even if I'm still single, God is still good. Not like, well, what if? Because what if is fear. It's fear. Even if is faith.
Yep.
And I think keeping those two, saying those two, remembering those two, where it's not, well, what if I am just the soccer girl, and then I can't ever get to be the curly girl. No, like you can be both.
You can be both.
We don't have to limit ourselves to that. Like we can embrace both of those.
Yes. Two things can be true. Two things totally can be true. I think sometimes, again, it just depends. Maybe one thing is more true than the other thing and not letting fear run havoc in our lives. But I do think that the paradox is so important to remember because we're human. And I think that's something that I have struggled with recently as I've been in therapy for a decade. Now I'm in life coaching. I have a mentor. I have you. I have like very equipped, brilliant women in my life. And so I know what to say and think when the enemy starts to get in my brain. I have very few like moments where anxiety takes over anymore. So I've seen so much growth in the way that I talk to myself and just the way that
amazing.
I exist in this world. And I'm I'm honestly proud of myself for the work that I've done and so grateful. And so it's almost like I don't really let myself go there, but I think sometimes it is important to just be like, okay, what thoughts are you believing today? And not following up with, oh, I should feel XYZ. I think it's more just, that's what my life coach did to me the other day. She's like, okay, I don't want you to tell me what I know you've worked to be able to create. It's like, what is true? Tell me what thoughts are. And then they were all true. She's like, these are all coexisting together and that they're all true. Yes. It's all valid. Everything that you're saying, I understand. And I didn't have to back it up with, well, God is good. And even if and it's like, all of that is true. But it sometimes can be really freeing to let yourself exist in the paradox and and let those things be true, and just really paying attention to not, if they're negative, to not live there, but also just being really honest. Because I think it allows for people like you and I who have done a ton of work and who minister to young women and just women in general and people. I think it's important to just also be really honest and allowing that paradox to exist.
Yes. I think that is something I struggled with even writing this book. Is I am a firm believer that there is one truth, in the Bible it says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. There's one truth, and that is Jesus. He is, capital T, truth. There's one truth. So then I think I struggled with, how can two things be true? And it's like, well, that's not going against my faith. Those are two things of who God created me to be. I can be two of these things that are both true to who he created me to be.
So good. So outside of Cowgirl Mermaid, what other paradox, kind of the same question that you just asked me, in this season, are you living in a paradox now? And if so, what is that?
Well, the first thing that comes to my mind, and like I said, I guess this book is just my life poured out.
It really is.
But I have this paradox of, I love that we are recording this podcast. I love that I have my own business as a life coach. I love working with high school girls in strength and conditioning and helping them be strong in a gym. And I want to be at home all the time raising babies. And so it's a paradox, I feel, of being this working woman and being this stay-at-home woman, which I know right now in this season of life, I'm not able to be at home. But I think that is a paradox that I have, is I want to be both of those.
Yeah.
And I think it's okay that both of those are true. And in this season, I'm not able to do one.
Right.
So like maybe what you said earlier is maybe one is more true than the other.
Yeah.
In the season of life, what is more true is that I am a businesswoman.
Yeah.
And maybe that's not who I want to be for forever. Maybe I want to be a stay-at-home mom one day. Yes. But right now, I am a businesswoman. But embracing both of those too is being the nurturing entrepreneur. The nurturing is
I love that one.
That is
it's in the book.
It is
it's in the book
sneak peek
page.
But being a nurturing entrepreneur, that is the girl who wants to be the stay-at-home mom, the nurturing, and the girl who wants to go after it and start a podcast, write a book, have their own business, and be an entrepreneur. And being both of those, you are a nurturing entrepreneur. You don't have to pick. You can be both.
You can be both. Do you ever feel like, because we can't control that season of wanting to be married and be moms, and we're in that nurturing entrepreneur season where we're going after it, do you ever feel like, because we're not there yet, do you ever feel like less of a drive, or ever have that wonderment of, well, if I had a husband, would I be working as hard, or like trying to plan out your life? Because, setting goals and KPIs and vision, casting a vision for our businesses. I catch myself sometimes being like, well, okay, in 6 years when my da-da-da-da's up, like, would I probably have kids? Like, I catch myself almost planning two different lives.
Oh, totally. I can see that.
And it's really, at times, just, it doesn't necessarily slow me down, but sometimes I find myself like, well, what if I have a family by then? And that obviously is me trying to control things. But I do feel like, as a businesswoman, because we're women and we are entrepreneurs and we are go-getters, I find myself planning two separate versions of my life. One, okay, security of, and it's part of my own flaws of, okay, well, just in case, let me have a backup plan. So I have a career in case I don't meet somebody that I want to marry. But also this other version of my life where it's like, okay, I want to, and that's what I've done. I created a life where I ran my own business and I made my own schedule so that I could be the one that dropped and picked up my kids from school. And that was a huge driver.
I think you do that. You know, I picked a career, my life coaching. I schedule clients on my calendar when it works for me. And right now it's great because my schedule is pretty open, right? Yeah. But if I needed to make it more minimal for a day, I can do that. And I think, yes, it's okay to plan for the future or think about that, and it can change and let it change when it changes. And it's so good. I think that's the thing, is that we try sometimes to be such simple creatures of I am this businesswoman and I will be this businesswoman forever. We are not that simple. Yeah. We are complex.
It's not black and white.
That is how God created us. Like we are complex. And have you ever seen the movie Inside Out?
No, okay. So many people have told me this. I have not. It's a cartoon movie, right?
Yeah. It's like a little animated
it's the sweet movie. Thing. Okay. I'm adding that. I need to watch it.
They just came out with the second one.
Seriously?
Yes.
Okay.
They came out with the second one. The first one I have used for years in my coaching business because they have the 5 core emotions. And I think, there's thousands of words we could use for emotions, but I think they all come down to these 5 core emotions, which is the joy, sadness, anger, fear, and shame, or on Inside Out, it's disgust, but I use the word shame in my coaching. And I think all 5 of those are true and are in our brain, right? And Inside Out too just goes into a few more emotions, but all 5 of those emotions are in our brain, and we need all 5 of them to make up who we are. It's all part of who we are. And at times we just want joy to be the only thing there. I just want joy. I don't want to talk about sadness. I don't want to talk about fear, but that is a part of us. And we need to embrace that side of us and embrace the paradox. And I'm glad to have so much free time right now. And I'm sad to not have time with my husband and kids that aren't here, And so those are both true, and they're both in my brain, which Inside Out does such a beautiful job of portraying that and just visualizing it for kids and honestly for adults. But I think we can't ignore the other side of us. And that's just what I share in the book, is both sides of those, both parts of us that sometimes seem contradicting, like the Cowgirl Mermaid, can both be true. Yeah. And and being okay with both of those things.
That's so good. So good. So how did you get the title Cowgirl Mermaid?
Okay. So I was on a family trip, and I think when my whole family is together, there's like 16 of us. So it's just so much fun. And we had a little cabin on the lake, and one of my nieces and I were sitting out on the dock. She's 4 years old. We were just sitting there fishing. And she said, Sasa, and at this time I'm living in Charleston and the rest of my family was all in Tennessee. So she said, Sasa, so you like swim in the ocean and you surf all the time in Charleston. Are you like a mermaid? And I was like,
Precious. Yes, baby girl.
I am. Yes, absolutely. It's like a mermaid. She said, well, I can swim without floaties too. I'm like a mermaid. I was like, absolutely. Yes, you are a mermaid.
So precious.
And then she said, but Sasa, you still like to ride horses, don't you? And I was like, yeah, of course I like to ride horses. She goes, okay, because I still ride horses, and you do too though, right? And I was like, yes. She goes, okay, so you're still a cowgirl? I said, yes, I'm still a cowgirl. She said, so we're both cowgirl mermaids.
Wow.
And I was like, you just unlocked.
Brilliant.
And maybe that was a light bulb moment.
Maybe,
I was like,
you're like,
yes, you unlocked something that is true. I am a cowgirl mermaid. Wow. I am not just one or the other. I love to ride horses and I love to ride waves. I can embrace both of those things to be true. So and my 4-year-old niece had no problem, did not skip a beat thinking, why can't you be both? It was just, I am. She's like, we are cowgirl mermaids. I was like, wow. Yes, we are. Yes, absolutely.
Yes, we are. And you really are. You really are.
I think that was something that stuck with me. And then it was probably 6 months later. And I felt like I was using that example in my coaching sessions. And then I was like, this needs to be shared. And there's so many more paradoxes of things that seem maybe opposite of the stay-at-home mom or the businesswoman. Both can be true. And being the sporty girl or being the girly girl, both can be true. And embracing that. And so shout out to my little niece. 4-year-olds can change your lives.
Literally.
Little children.
Literally. They really can. They're so wise. Nothing holds them back.
Because I think too, when I was living in Charleston, it's like I so embraced that culture of the beach girl, the surfing girl, that I kind of, I don't know if I pushed down the other side, but it almost was like I felt like I should just be this beach girl now.
Yeah.
And my room was even decorated that way. I had surfboards on, on my walls and pictures of waves. And then I was like, I can still be the cowgirl too. I can be both sides, right?
Both. I love that.
So without pushing it down. So my question for you is, have you ever felt like you had to ignore or push down a part of you?
Yes, definitely. In various seasons of my life, I would say, I can really relate to what you're saying. I grew up total tomboy, big athlete, loved sports, but also love makeup and doing my hair and cute clothes. So I that part of me, just this is totally off topic, but your book, like, it's 100% going to go somewhere because nobody's talking about this when we're young. And I think it's a conversation that I know once I have daughters, Lord willing, I want to, and my parents did a great job of really letting those things in me coexist. Like my mom, I didn't talk about makeup until I was, way later than probably most girls did. But the minute that I wanted to try it, she was like all gung ho, so really grateful for that. But I think that's something that isn't really talked about because you kind of have to figure out your career. And then you're are you stuffing down a part of yourself, or is it stuffing, or are you just doing what is natural to you? Or are you doing what you think you should do? What's the safe route? All those kinds of things. So I would say, yes, various different seasons of my life, I pushed parts of myself down. I would say the one that I think is the most recent-ish in the last, maybe decade or so, 5 years, is just this concept of, do I want to be a businesswoman? And the parts of me that are very outspoken and strong and opinionated, I think I really stuffed those parts of myself down. And in wanting to be the people pleaser, unhealthy version of myself that is since healed, to be the nice girl and the girl that got along with everyone. So I think now in my life, I'm definitely this, like, I've just seen this growth in me of being a gentle, strong woman that knows when to speak.
That
and knows
is
when
a
to listen.
beautiful paradox. Gentle, strong woman.
I just think that's the
because
coolest
you are
thing.
Gentle, yet you are strong.
Yeah.
And embracing that paradox. You don't have to just be gentle and passive.
Yeah.
Or you don't have to be strong and a bully.
Yeah.
Being both is gentle and strong. That is beautiful.
It is. And honestly, gentleness in a man is the most attractive quality to me.
100%. Like gentle or tender. I love that.
It's so attractive. Vulnerability is so attractive to me, but not transparency. Like, there's a difference. And I'm going to get off topic if I say that. But the paradox of, like, gentle and strong. And so I think the parts of me that were pushed down were what I thought I was supposed to be, and being a woman and being in the career space and kind of just being that natural tendency to want to people please. And now I'm, like, gentle and strong, and
so
really grateful to be there now. But that's such a good question. Can you give us another sneak peek of a paradox you have in your book?
Okay, let's see. Okay, here's my book.
Cute. It's so cute.
Thank you. What about... Okay, I'll read y'all this one. A little sneak peek. I kind of touched on this one. Have you ever wanted to travel the world to see waterfalls and mountains? Or how about stay at home in a cozy cottage to hang with your family?
So good.
And then the paradox of that is, sounds like you're an adventurous homebody. And again, that goes back to the part of my story of I feel like I am crazy because I'm like, why am I always wanting to travel? I can't stay rooted. I'm just all over the place. I'm constantly booking the next flight. I want to travel and see everything. And part of me is I really want to be settled. I want to have a house. I want to host people. I want to have them over and I want it to be a cozy space. I want to have community here. And it's like, am I a nomad or am I a homebody? Like, I don't know which one of those are true. And they both are true. Yeah. I am an adventurous homebody. I can be both. I love being home and I love adventure. Yeah. And so embracing that paradox of both of those.
I love that. Oh, girl. Thanks. Honestly, you should make an adult version of that book. I really
That's like the children's language for what us adults experience too.
Yeah. And it's so simplified and it's so direct, and I feel like it's so applicable to, I mean, even as you're talking, there's people and some of my really close friends that are like, I want to travel and I really desire being home. I want to travel and see the world and I really want community. And they feel crazy. They feel like they just can't pick one or the other. Mm-hmm. And I just love that it's like, you can be both.
Yes.
You can absolutely be both. Who told you that you can, you know? So,
yes.
Okay. So when does it come out and how the heck can we get our hands on this book?
Okay. So the book is called Cowgirl Mermaid and it releases next week, Monday, November 11th. And you can get it on Amazon or wherever you buy books. And it has been such a process because, again, I did not see this coming for me a year ago. Would have never told you I was writing a book. So I have learned so much.
So proud of you.
I'm still figuring out all the nitty gritty of how to get it everywhere, but for sure on Amazon and probably other places where you buy books.
Oh my
But we'll put the link in the show notes here.
So awesome. So proud of you.
Thanks. Well, thank you so much for letting me share a little bit about my book. And I am just so excited to release it. I'll be posting more sneak peeks and, of course, you know, the link to purchase on my Instagram if you want to follow along. But my hope and prayer with this book is I am so passionate about all girls knowing how beautiful, special, and purposeful she is created. And with that, being able to embrace the paradox of all parts of who we are and how God created us to be.
So even if there are some days you want to be a cowgirl and some days you want to be a mermaid, embrace both sides of beautiful.